renewable energy. Physics Wala to also open for subscription. Budget brokerage grow to list this week. Tesla finds itself following VinFast in India as price-conscious customers prefer the Vietnamese EV maker to Elon Musk's brand. Tesla clocked sales of just 40 units in the peak festive month of October. VinFast is way ahead with 131 units. Tata Motors still leads the pack with 7,239 units last month. But first, breaking news this morning. Global brokerage Goldman Sachs has upgraded India to overweight. This comes 13 months after it downgraded its view to neutral in October 2024. The brokerage has also set a target of 29,000 for the Nifty by the end of December 2026. That's a year from now. And this is an upside of 14% from Friday's closing levels. Goldman Sachs, in its report, recommended financials, consumer staples, defense, and oil marketing companies. It's also cited earnings shortfall, external headwinds, and investor concerns over the impact of AI as some of the key risks. The brokerage has cited a mix of high valuations, cyclical growth, profit slowdown, expectations, and tariff headwinds for India underperforming emerging markets. The report sees a case for Indian equities to now perform better over the coming year, with easing measures announced by the RBI and GST cuts aiding growth over the next 2 years. Sounding really good for India this morning. Let me take you through that again on what really Goldman has said, and it's why it's significant. Upgrade to overweight 13 months after the downgrade that we saw in October 24. 29,000, that's the target for next year. And when I go across to our guests, I think they're going to say it's easily achievable. And that's a 14% upside from Friday's closing levels. And it's recommended financials, consumer staples, defense, and oil marketing companies. Some risks to keep in mind: earnings shortfall, external headwinds, and the impact of AI. Let me welcome in Shailendra Bhatnagar, who's joining us this morning. As always, Shail, that kind of target doesn't seem so impossible to reach, but it's the fact that we're getting that huge endorsement coming in from Goldman just a year after the downgrade that's perhaps the key takeaway this morning.
Absolutely, Aabha. There is a lot of foreign flows likely to come into India now that Chinese markets have peaked in the short term. Remember, from October 2024 to September of 2025, the Chinese markets outperformed the Indian market by a very large measure, and that opposite trade is now in the works. China is now trading at a 15 PE, and the Indian markets will now get some part of that fund. Plus the tailwinds that you mentioned, they are acting positively, and the 27,000 crore rupee monthly SIPs that domestic investors have been putting in regularly. So all good, a front foot on Monday, Aabha.
Does seem to be on the front foot for sure. Amrish Baliga also joining us. Amrish, good morning. Definitely looking steady after 3 days of, slipping away there on the index. But this morning, we're also seeing a very, very positive view coming in from Goldman, citing a mix of high valuation, cyclical growth, some profit slowdown expectation, and tariff headwinds for India that could perhaps still need to be kept in mind, but they see a case for Indian equities to perform better over the coming years, especially with measures announced by the RBI and GST cuts. What's your take on the 29,000 target?
The 29,000 target should be achievable. I mean, what are we talking about? We are talking about 13% rise from where we are right now. And this is after a year of underperformance. And if you take 2 years into account, we are talking of 6.5-7% sort of a rise in Nifty over 2 years. So it's nothing much as such, and especially looking at as to where we are right now. I mean, despite the sort of issues which you have seen on tariffs, the earnings for Q2, I think, has surprised most of the analysts because expectations were low, and against that we have seen a much better performance. So I mean, I'll not be surprised if we see levels of about 29,000 or even 30,000 is possible.
Absolutely. Well, we've got the opening bell, but Amrish, just to take that point, and I completely agree with you, I think it's also a signal perhaps when you see, one of the largest global brokerages actually turning around its view on India. It's perhaps the bigger takeaway here is just a signal, and in terms of the perception and the way attention is moving to India. Do you see signs of FIs also wanting to come back?
This report is from Goldman. So this report is not really talking about the retail participation. It is talking about institutional participation.
Sure.
And that it clearly points toward FIIs and who've been away from the Indian markets for a while. And with the rupee also stabilizing and the sort of performance which we are showing, I'm sure they would come back in 2026.
All right. That's the big takeaway this morning. But metals on top of the charts, 0.8% high on the metal index this morning. Remember, the government saying they may impose a safeguard duty on steel that will support domestic players. The index is up 0.3% as we speak. So a steady start this Monday. Metals in focus, of course. We've got loads of earnings and we'll talk through those in just a moment and see what's buzzing. Let's actually try and pull up some of those buzzers. But first on the index itself, Infy's up 1%. Bajaj Auto, Hindalco, some of the key gainers right now this morning. We've got a whole host of earnings, AstraZeneca, Bajaj Auto, so that's of course moving up close to 1% on the back of earnings, a beat on estimates coming in there on Bajaj. We've also got a whole host of stocks in the broader markets as well. So for instance, Finolex, JSW Cement, Aris Infra, a lot of these actually showing a good turnaround this quarter on the back of earnings. As Amrish was also just saying, earnings have actually positively surprised this time around. Let's pull up some of those names for you. There you go on your screen. So AstraZeneca also seeing a good response this morning. We've got sugar in focus as well. Positive sentiment as the centre has allowed for 1.5 MT of sugar exports for 25-26. So we'll bring up sugar stocks. Finolex reacting to earnings as well this morning. So 2.5% higher on Finolex. AstraZeneca responding to earnings. Sugar is definitely in action this morning. Shell, what are you tracking on your screens?
Well, Aabha, by the dip in metals, PSU banks will be outperforming. Financial services sector is in top shape, and of course, capital markets led by BSE. So, new highs in the market are Newland Labs, 9% higher, very strong earnings, 19,500 for you. Again, HBL engines from the railway space, now in 4 digits, 1,071, and of course, financial services. Shriram Finance, L&T Finance at fresh record highs, and of course from the insurance space, SBI Life and AU Bank from the banking sector doing immensely well. So 4 sectors, financial services, metals, PSU banks, and of course capital markets are moving up and moving up smartly. Nifty up 60, Bank Nifty up 100. Yours.
Okay, continue to bring up some of those movers in the broader markets. I think my producer was just firing a couple of them as well. Strong moves coming in on some of those stocks. Let's pull some of those back for you. And we've got Karnataka Bank in the news. FSN e-commerce, let's pull that one as well on earnings. So Karnataka, we are seeing earnings action. FSN has actually missed estimates. So I just want to see how that one's doing this morning. It's still up 2.5%. Net income, 344.3 million versus 100.4 million. So perhaps that's what the market's reading, but it's a strong move coming in this morning on that one. Let's pull up Karnataka Bank. Let's pull up Torrent Pharma. Just see if any earnings reaction coming in on some of these as well. So lots of earnings action that we're tracking for you this morning, and then of course order book action also continuing across the board. But I'll get to those in a moment. Karnataka Bank is down post earnings, down 1.5% or so. Amrish, it's as you said, there's a lot of earnings action, more positive surprises than not, like a Torrent's up 3.5%. FSN e-commerce is looking really good this morning. Bajaj Auto was a beat, for instance. From the earnings basket, what's been looking really good to you, and some of these numbers as well that we're seeing reacting today? Anything you'd like to comment on?
Among the ones which I really liked in the past couple of weeks was L&T, which hadn't really performed in the last 1.5, 2 years. And now with the sort of earnings which we have seen, we already seen the stock moving up to a decent extent in the last 2 to 3 months, but I still see the stock going up further, possibly in the 10 to 12% more from here.
All right, so that one continues to be in focus, and it's a stock that has been coming up consistently on most of our experts' radar. Let me also touch on all the IPO action. We've got at least 7 public issues raising over 11,000 crore rupees and all set to hit the markets this week. Among the 7 are 5 main board IPOs, with the first opening for subscription tomorrow. Physicswala is raising 3,480 crore rupees. Also opening tomorrow is the IPO of MV Photovoltaic. Auto parts maker Tenneco, Clean Air India, part of a US company, will be raising 3,600 crores. And the next 2 days, we'll see solar inverter and batteries maker Fujiyama and SaaS company Capillary Technologies hit the street. Meanwhile, Pine Labs, that IPO is still open, closes tomorrow. And Lenskart is listing today amid deep scrutiny, while Grow is expected to list on Wednesday. It's been incredibly busy for IPO Street this time around. Shell, what are you tracking? And Lenskart, just about 40 minutes to go. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. It's a phenomenal moment regardless for the founders, of course.
Absolutely, Aabha. I think it's the widening and deepening of the markets. Of course, no point in chasing a stock if it lists at a premium. I think Lenskart should be delighted if they just about manage to hold on to their IPO price. These stocks will be easily available 6 months later, much cheaper.
Absolutely, and that's largely what we've been hearing. Perhaps avoid the hype around IPO time at this particular point of time. All right, let's go back across to Amrish. Amrish, I know you mentioned some of the areas that you're bullish on, but let me come back to consumption, because that's clearly the pocket that everyone's putting their bets on when it comes to the India story. Within the consumption basket, I mean, FMCG kind of falls out of favor. Then everyone looks at durables. Where are you looking? When it comes to consumption, what do you feel is going to really benefit from the wave?
I think it's across the consumption space. I mean, right from automobiles to white goods to FMCG. I think all these three are going to perform decently well. And despite the final announcement coming towards the end of September, there were issues as far as the supply chain GST adjustment was concerned, and because of which we have seen that some of the consumption stocks have shown poorer results than expected. But I think this quarter, that will be made up, and the sort of a boom which we have seen post the announcement, I think should be seen in the Q3 earnings. So all these three sectors I'm clearly bullish on right now.
Okay. All right. So constantly bullish across some of those. When you were... Okay, let me just pull up. We've got a knock coming in on one of the stocks. Twinkle's just going to pull that up for you on your screen. Let's just take a look. Trent is down 6% today. I'm just trying to track if there's a news trigger here, but here we go. Q2 net income up 6.6%. It's actually a beat. What's happening on Trent, Shell? The stock's taking a complete hammering.
Aabha, I think the best of Trent is behind it. It's now a part of the Nifty, and the rally that we saw about 2 years ago was more than enough. Now profit booking happening. Actually, there's a lot of activity that's happening on these online retailers which are taking away market share from existing stores. So Trent is one of them, and we've seen a high of about 8,200 in October 2024. The stock had actually moved from 1,300 rupees in February 2023. So that's a simple profit booking that's happening. The earnings are nothing to talk about, and money moving into high beta, low ticket items. Look at banks, look at metal stocks, look at National Aluminium. That's where the money is getting made on the long side. Aabha.
Absolutely. Metals continue to be in focus. And I'm going to come to Amrish on that in just a moment. I just want to pull up transformers and rectifiers once because that stock's also taking a hammering today. We're just trying to find a trigger on that one, but it's down 20%. I'm not sure if it's hitting lower circuit. I don't know what the recent trajectory has been here, Shell, if you pull it up on your screen, anything that pops out to you. But transformers and rectifiers down about 20% this morning.
Aabha, this will
I think it's again an earnings reaction, Shell.
Yes,
I think they've seen a pretty severe drop in net profit this time around.
Absolutely. And a 20% downtick in a stock that has outperformed in a sector that has been on the top of buying radars. That's the reason why you see this downtick about a low of October 2024. That's what the chart is showing. This is the top loser in the NSE 500 so far. Aabha.
All right. Okay, we've got HBL Engineering. That was the one that Twinkle had pulled up earlier. That's doing pretty well this morning. So back to seeing some green on the screen for a moment. HBL, AstraZeneca, Torrent, these are the ones that are actually moving on earnings as opposed to those that are getting hammered. But we'll continue to pull those up for you. But let me come to you, Amrish, on some of the metal names, because especially whether it's Hindalco, Nalco, we're continuing to see consistent buying, and that pocket continues to look pretty steady even with fundamental factors in play.
Absolutely. I think metals is another sector which will continue performing. And beyond steel and aluminum, which clearly I expect them to perform, we should see stocks like Hindustan Zinc, which is right now on the screen. I think this is the other stock which should continue performing decently well, looking at the sort of demand which is there for zinc, as well as silver, because about 40% of the bottom line for Hindustan Zinc comes from silver. And the way this prices have gone up, I think that's also going to benefit Hindustan Zinc.
Right. We've got some big earnings today as well. Amrish, when it comes to Bajaj Finance, for instance, ONGC, anything you're watching out for there? Anything from the commentary or earnings?
Yeah, I mean, Bajaj Finance, clearly, I would clearly watch out for the sort of a growth which we have seen in the past couple of years, whether the trajectory remains the same or not, because it's clearly expected that Jio Finance going ahead would be a disruptor in the market, and Bajaj Finance could be one of those which could get affected by Jio.
Interesting. Okay. I think that's a longer conversation, for us, Amrish, to get into that one. It's going to be interesting. Sugar is buzzing, as I mentioned, but let me just pull up some of those sugar stocks for you again. Remember, we've got the center allowing sugar exports about 1.5 MT for 25-26. So it's a sentiment boost. It's not necessarily the pocket that we talk about every day, but sugar is definitely buzzing. And we've got defense stocks moving as well. And that continues to be a constant. Lot of focus there. Amrish, every day we're reading out new order book additions and so forth. Within the defense pie, any value picks that you'd like to point out?
No, at this point of time, I would be a bit cautious on the defense space. Clearly, because of the order flows which we have seen in the past 2 to 3 years, most of the stocks have become multi-baggers. But the issue going ahead, like I've been saying earlier also, would be execution, because it's not possible to increase the capacity overnight. The way the orders are flowing in. So there would be execution issues, just like what we have seen in HAL, in the last few months. I think that's going to be an issue going ahead.
All right. So lots to track there. Amrish, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good chatting with you as always and getting your perspective. And, we'll continue to track some of those picks that Amrish has pointed out, as well as perhaps where you should taper off as valuations are getting a bit rich. We're watching out for the Lenskart listing at 10 o'clock. We also got some continued newsmakers. HAL is buzzing right now. We've got lots of earnings reaction pouring in. Torrent is now up 4%, looking really good right now. Bajaj Hindustan from the sugar pie is up about 3% right now. Balrampur is up 4%. So a lot of action brewing there as we speak. Let's, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Of course, the channel will have market closing at 3 p.m. Thanks for watching.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice Monday morning on the markets as far as the Lal Street is concerned. The Nifty now at 25,529. This is a very, very important development. The swing trade now back in action. If the market, if the Nifty moves above Friday's high, which was in the vicinity of something like 25,551, then we have an uptick in the making, ladies and gentlemen, and the low of Friday, which is 25,318, will also be tracked. At the moment, the Nifty is navigating the 21-day EMA on the charts, and the bulls and bears are battling at 25,500. What's ticking in the markets as far as prices are concerned? Well, the advanced decline ratio is in strength in favor of the bulls. As far as the Lal Street is concerned, you have 1,365 shares in the green, 1,200 in the red. The movement on the long side is led by the Nifty Metals Index. keep an eye out on National Aluminium. The dip is getting purchased. Ditto for Hindalco, and other metal stocks are also doing well. From the PSU space, strong moves in BHEL, Gas Authority, as also into Coal India. Look at how the defense space is moving out. A strong move coming into Masgaon Dock. Look at Steel Authority of India. Look at HAL. Meanwhile, let's keep an eye out on two major indices, the Nifty CPSE index, which is the Central Public Sector Enterprises Index, moving from 200-day moving average 6437, and all the frontline stocks, Coal India, Steel Authority, National Aluminium, HAL, Masgaon Dock, from the PSU space, doing extremely well. BHEL at the moment 2.6% higher at 270. We'll also be joined by our guest, Mr. Ambarish Balika, and of course, our Lady Luck, Vaishali Parekh, joining us shortly. So a strong trend in the market, 143 points higher on the Bank Nifty, the IT index 175 points higher, and of course across the board there is a strong momentum happening in PSU banks, in the financial services space. Look at the record high on Shriram Finance. Look at how L&T Finance is moving. Look at how pharma stock Newland Labs has hit a record high. A strong move coming in the broader markets on the first day of the week after a fairly sharp fall. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is a strong move coming in. Vaishali Parekh joining us from Prabhudas Leeladhar Associates. A very good morning to you, Vaishali. A view on the Nifty from 25,550 levels. What are the charts telling you?
Very good morning, Shanti. Yes, so I think markets showed a lot of panic last week. Now, currently, I would say we are really at a make or break levels. 25,350 has been the crucial support level, and from there on, we are seeing a good bounce. So I maintain that this level needs to be looked into carefully, 25,350. And above this, for a confirmation, Nifty needs to sustain about 25,600 levels to see that there is a possibility of a continuation of the upward move. So for this week, I would say 25,350 as support and 26,000 would be the next resistance. As far as Bank Nifty is concerned, that too is pretty much in sync. 57,200, I mean, that's where we saw last week some corrective move and market, I mean, Bank Nifty taking support pretty much over there. So 57,200 would act as the support and 58,000 would act as the resistance. So that is how I would look at the major indices.
Okay. A view on Newland Labs, maybe, Shriram Finance, L&T Finance?
Sure. So Newland Lab, it's currently at 18,694 and opened with a gap up. So I think that shows the inherent strength. We are looking at the weekly chart, monthly chart. It's in its all-time high. So of course, not a fresh buying strategy, but to those who are holding, should continue holding. This can in all likelihood go towards to 20,000 and higher.
Okay. Anything interesting on the charts according to you, Vaishali? What all are you tracking?
Well, so I think we saw, I mean, look at HBL Engineering, that has been a favorite stock for everyone. Post good results, we are seeing a good gap up opening and sustaining. So in the cash category, that is one stock which looks good. Besides that, metal has done very well. We were focusing on Nalco and the results luckily have been good and we are seeing a good move. So, of course, I would now look at SAIL because, I mean, last time also we spoke that PSU metal stocks should be the flavor of the time. So, and that's what we are looking at. And now that you're asking me about L&T Finance and Shriram Finance, well, L&T Finance, totally a robust up move. That is what we have witnessed. But technically, if you ask me, I think it should see some resistance at 320 levels. That's where the chartical resistance shows at. So I would say that partial profit booking at this level should not be ruled out. And likewise, even for Shriram Finance, I would say so that yes, it's run up quite well. One should book take partial profits.
Aabha's with us. Over to you, Aabha.
All right, good morning. Shari, lots and lots of earnings. I want to bring up the FSN e-commerce ones and just get your take. I know it's a shorter chart, but I still would love to hear any take from you. It's a miss technically, but the stock's still moving on the back of those numbers, and I know the market's always interested in that one, or the retail investor.
Sorry, which stock are you asking me about?
FSN e-commerce, Nika.
One moment, yes. So, well, Nykaa, what we see so far, the trend has been pretty good. And I think it's getting into new round of momentum. We saw there was a slight profit booking coming in, but I think 240 acts as a good support. And this should go back to retesting the previous high of 270 and perhaps even higher. So, in my opinion, today's candle shows a positive up move ready for a new round of momentum.
All right, that's on FSN. Shali, any of the other earnings reactions, I want to just bring them up. HBL Engineering, I don't know if you've taken a look at this one recently, but I want to give you a chance to pull it up on the chart. 10% up.
Well, we just spoke about it. HBL Engineering, yes, we are seeing a lot of strength, and I think we are still heading for higher targets. Continue holding because it's already in its all-time high, but well, the bias looks positive. We can continue holding with the trailing stop loss.
Thanks, Jali. Joined in 5 minutes later, so missed that one. Also watching HAL and Force Motors, again on earnings reaction. Both of these are also seeing a strong move.
Yes, so Force Motors, I think, well, the trend is intact. And today post good results. I would say it should get into fresh buying, and I think now 17,500 would act as a support, and gradually this will go towards 22,000. And having said that, I still think that technically we have an open projected target of 25,000. So the risk reward ratio to those who do not have is also favorable. Consider buying now.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the defense pack. A very strong move coming into Hindustan Aeronautics and the shipbuilders, which is Mazgaon Dock, Garden Reach. Both of them moving from their long-term moving averages and moving up. A view, Vaishali, on Mazgaon Dock and HAL.
So HAL, well, we have been tracking since a very long time. A long consolidation has taken place. So I would say 4600 acts as a very good support. But for a confirmation to show strength, it needs to go above 4850, 4900 levels. And then we can expect a target of 5200 to 5500. So right now, once again, I think it is a good level to consider buying. As far as Mazgaon Dock is concerned, that too is showing strength. All these defense stocks are showing new round of momentum setting in. Mazgaon Docks, I would say, good up move. The recent high that we have witnessed is at around 3,800. Currently at this level, 2,600, it has right now showing signs of double bottom formation. So this too looks attractive. But for clarity and confirmation, Mazgaon Dock needs to sustain about 2,850 and then about 3,000 levels to get back into a good uptrend.
Okay, Lenskart, let's take a look. We've got 395. That's what we're seeing an indication of on the exchange. That's a discount. Remember, after that huge premium, we're seeing that it perhaps is going to list at a discount. Remember, Lenskart, we've seen so much debate around the valuation, the 70,000 crore rupee valuation. I know that Shali's not going to have too much to say on a Lenskart, but let me come to you, Shail, on this. I mean, it was expected. It's not too much of a surprise, but now at 390 is what the indication is showing.
Aabha, during the day, this will be available much cheaper. That is what has been, the general trend of overpriced and unappreciated IPOs by the market. They may have had a full house in terms of getting the subscription that was necessary, but the sheer weight of, other income which is not coming from the main line of business just might pull the stock lower. So for retailers, let's just tell them to stay away for a while and focus on much stronger stocks which are in the market. Look at National Aluminium, look at HBL Engines, both driven by very strong earnings. Look at the entire capital market pack, it's doing immensely well. We have to make money in the market, make it from stocks that are doing well, at least on the business side. Aabha.
All right. Well, I don't know if I'd wipe out Lenskart altogether, Shell, but sure, maybe re-enter when it's a little cheaper. That's the advice that's coming in from all our experts. Vishali, let me come to you on some of the stocks that are taking a nosedive on earnings. We've got, I think, transformers and rectifiers is down like 20%. A couple of the others as well. But this one in particular seeing a huge knock. I mean, 20% on earnings is a bit of an extreme hit this morning. Tarrell, it's down at 313 right now.
Well, so I think, yes, the trend is really damaged. I'm looking at the weekly chart also. We've seen good corrective move coming in, but only consolation I would say to this is 300 is the final support. Let's see what happens because we've seen a deep correction right from 600 odd levels to now half the price. So this is how I would look at it. 300 levels break, I would suggest to exit.
9:41, ladies and gentlemen. The broader trend and the tenor of the market is positive. Remember, the Nifty is now moving above 25,500. That was a major resistance. 25,600, 25,700 is what the charts are indicating. In terms of gainers, as far as the Nifty is concerned, you have a fairly strong move coming into Asian Paints, 1.2% higher, 2646. Remember, Asian Paints and the entire paint industry was upgraded very recently. You have BEL, ONGC, L&T and Infosys doing pretty well as far as charts are concerned on the long side. And let's look at how the pullers and draggers on the Nifty are shaping up at this point of time. Reliance all the way 1% higher, Infosys 1% higher. Together they are contributing 33 points on the Nifty, followed by L&T. Vaishali, if you were to choose a favorite between Reliance and L&T, what are the charts telling you?
So I think L&T was our call, and I think it has for now met with its target of 4,000 or something. So if not in a hurry, one can buy for a long-term perspective. But for the trading perspective, I think it's overall the energy index which is showing strength, and Reliance has yet to do its round of up move. So I would focus for trading short-term strategy. I would look at Reliance.
Okay, auto. I want to talk about auto, Shali, because we've got Bajaj looking good post numbers, Hero expected. We've seen, of course, that entire buzz around auto post festive season, post the GST cut, and plenty of more action perhaps is due here. Where would you be looking? Would it be the two-wheelers? Would it be some of the more agri-focused auto names like an M&M, for instance, or an Ashok Leyland? What's looking good on the charts?
So right now, the confirmed uptrends, the stocks which are really looking good are one is Mahindra and Mahindra. So that is one of the stocks which still looks positive, and I would focus more on that. And the other one is, of course, even Ashok Leyland, yet to do with its upward move. So, well, my view is positive on Ashok Leyland. I would not really be in a hurry to get into two-wheelers for now.
9:43. Let's look at fresh highs in the markets. At the moment, we've discussed the two breakouts that have happened in the financial services space, which is Shriram Finance and L&T Finance. Consolidated Coffee, CCL, fresh high about 1% higher. Laurus Labs is now following suit as far as Newland is concerned. Vaishali, your view on Laurus Labs, maybe you can look at the charts and tell us about it. And in terms of volume breakers, look at how Torrent Pharma is moving post earnings, 4% higher. Garden Reach doing immensely well, 5% higher. And of course, a smart move coming into Balrampur Chini, 3.5% higher at 448. Vaishali, to you, we'll be discussing Laurus Labs.
So Laurus Lab, well, we have seen a perpendicular rise. It shows a lot of strength. It's getting into overbought zone also. So no new trading strategies, but I think one should continue holding till you see signs of, keep a trading stop loss of 960. This can go towards 1050 levels. My take is positive on this.
Trent has also taken a cut on earnings, and I mean, one could call it profit booking, but I don't know, Vijay, what do you think? It's down 6%. Numbers were actually decent, but some concerns around competition and so forth.
So trend, I'm looking even all the charts of all periodicities, and I think it is really showing weakness. So I think it's coming close towards this support level. Even when I'm looking at its monthly chart, I think the levels that I would consider is probably 3,800, 3,600. So right now it's open with a gap down, and we are still seeing not yet done with its corrective move, but 36, 3,800 would be the level to start accumulating the stock.
It's essentially the online e-commerce which is taking the pants of traditional retailers. You can see that happening in DMart. You can see how Trent is reacting, and at the same time, look at how internet stocks are doing well. Eternal comes to my mind on the long-term charts. A strong move coming into car trade. So our money is moving away from both financial money as well as consumer money. It's now moving towards online. This is a trend that's very well documented, and the financial markets are just reflecting the reality that is there in our lives. So most of us have moved online, especially in the world of clothes, especially in the worlds of consumer products that we consume every day in our kitchen, and that's getting reflected back in the markets. Aabha.
Although, I mean, that's why money is moving, even though physical or, offline retail can't be completely written off, especially those catering to tier 2, tier 3. But clearly the money right now is following the trend as we speak. Metals continue to be in focus, earnings continue to be in focus. At this point of time, we've got Force Motors, I think we talked about it. Gujarat Alkali's numbers coming in as well. They're also seeing a year-on-year growth. We'll pull that up for you on your screen. Just picking out some of the broader market plays. Karnataka Bank is seeing a slightly negative reaction post-earnings. Banks continue to be in focus, though lots of news flow. PSU banks as well, a lot of long positions that continue to be maintained there. Shali, when it comes to banking and the PSU pack in particular, what would you buy in on dips?
To start with, it would be SBI, because that still is the king of the PSU banks. And right now I'm looking at Axis Bank. I think chartically this looks positive. I would focus on this stock because I think there is still a further upside possible. Long-term trend is intact, currently at a support level. So 1200 acts as a very good support, and if this view set's right, I think this can go towards 1250 to start with, and from there on we can have a relook. And also, having said that, I have mentioned this earlier also, I do like UCO Bank, these banks, IOB at levels like these. So I think these are the stocks that I would look at.
Okay, I'm getting signals from the newsroom. I think it's around Lenskart, is it? Reliance. Okay, let's pull up Reliance for you as well. Lenskart is, of course, on everyone's mind, so we're continuing to track that. But let's also pull up a Reliance for you and just see what's happening there this morning. We've got lots, of course, to watch out for, and an RIL up a good, strong 1% right now. And, of course, we're continuing to track a whole bunch of news when it comes to RIL, whole mix of things, whether it's Google AI Pro, whether it's on telecom. Shell, let me come to you first on some of the factors at play on an RIL.
Absolutely, Aabha. This is a stock that has just moved from its 200-day to its 200-day moving average to what it is now at about 1494. And the three main threads are running there. Look at the earnings of Bharti Airtel, and therefore Reliance Telecom, which is Reliance Jio, will have a very, very strong show. That is the unlisted part of Reliance doing immensely well. And of course, you have already a very strong move coming into the charts from October 8th. The value that Reliance Telecom holds within Reliance is actually driving the stock up, and the most recent high was somewhere like 1541 that we saw on July. The Nifty, Aabha, if it has to move up 13%, Reliance will be among the top contributors as far as that 13% move is concerned, because it's the heaviest index weight stock in the market and it is still under owned. Aabha.
All right, let's get a take from you on the levels we should be watching out for on Reliance, Vishali.
So Reliance, as I mentioned, I'm positive on this, and I'm looking at a target of 1530, 1550 for now, and now my support levels are elevated to 1460.
All right, so for those of you who've just joined in, those are the kind of levels that Shali's watching out for on an RIL. We're tracking a whole host of IPO action, of course, with PhysicsWallah, Lenskart listing, Grow listing later this week, and of course a whole host of main board IPOs, including a bunch in the renewable space as well. So it's going to be a very, very busy week on the primary markets. Earnings calendar continues to be action-packed, a whole host of earnings that we're watching out for as well. On the index right now, it's steady, actually a pretty decent start, up close to 100 points now. Nifty Bank is steady this morning as well. And overall, I think the momentum seems to be intact, although the market is punishing anything that's not performed on earnings. The Nifty IT is up 0.7% as well. And from the IT basket, do you see potential for turnaround, Vishali, on any of the majors there, or would you go with some of the smaller plays within the IT names?
So let's start with the IT index. When we need a confirmation, Nifty IT, till some time back, we saw that yes, it's getting into some momentum, and we were quite optimistic that yes, it would show some upward move. But for now, I think one should take this sector gradually. It is for now making a higher bottom formation, but I would wait for a confirmation. It needs to move past 36,000 levels, at least 36,500 levels, to see that yes, it's showing signs of bottoming out. But stock specific, yes, I have always been looking at persistent, and now even KPIT, I think it is showing signs of bottoming out. So I would be more on a stock specific as far as IT is concerned.
$9.52, ladies and gentlemen. The Nifty at its day's high, 25,591. This is where it negotiates the 21 EMA, which is providing at the moment a resistance. Let's see how it happens. But banks in top shape, 153 points higher on the Nifty Bank, and the IT index for a change, helping the Nifty on the long side, 300 points higher on the IT index, 35,400 for you. Lots of activity on the metal space. Pharma is doing immensely well, and on this fine Monday morning, Aabha, all looks well on Dalal Street.
It does. All right. We've got, a whole host of earnings that, of course, will come up this week. But on valuations, just want to understand from you, Vishali, where do you think we're placed? Because we've got, this big upgrade coming in from Goldman. We've got FIs that are now relooking at India on the consumption basket, on the fact that perhaps how it's placed globally, they are seeing momentum over the next couple of years. Given where we're trading right now on the index, and we're now 100 points up, like Goldman saying 26,000 next year, which doesn't seem an unrealistic target at all. It's just a 14% upside. But for those who are looking at buying into the index right now, what would you advise them to do?
Well, this would justify my thought, because I would say, yes, we are still in an uptrend. And as I said, Nifty was at a make or break level, 25,350. So far we have respected that support and we are moving higher. So, and now we are also seeing that near-term resistance of 25,550 being crossed. So my view for those who want to trade Nifty, 25,350 is a very crucial support level. A close below that would bring in weakness. So it is a positive view. I would for now look at 26,000 as the first target. 26,200, which was earlier the resistance, still continues to be the resistance. Above that, we would be heading for 26,500. So I would take my strategy step by step and have a look from here on. And that's what we are seeing. Nifty is showing an upmove.
All right, that's where we leave it on the show this morning. Shali, thanks so much for joining us, and a good start to Monday. Shell, that's all from us this morning. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
night of history and hype in Austin, Texas.